Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a recipe that many people have been wanting to get from me. I've been making these brioche cinnamon rolls for years and years and years now, and they always seem to be a hit. They always sell out. Now when people hear the word brioche dough, they start to get, oh, I can't do that, that's too hard. It's really not. It just means a sweet, buttery, lots of sugar, lots of fat dough. So I'm going to teach you a very simple way to make the best cinnamon rolls. It's not that hard. Just give it a go. It's more of a time thing than it is like a skill level thing. All right? So to begin, I use a stand mixer. You could do it with your hands if you want. It's just going to take you a little longer. I know sometimes I'll use like a bowl and a whisk, but for this, I really want to use my KitchenAid. I'm going to do a half recipe, so we'll probably get maybe good 10 cinnamon rolls. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with taking 1.5 cups of milk, and we're going to put it in the microwave until it's just like 110 degrees. So it's probably put it in for like 30-second intervals. Okay. If the milk's too hot, or if you're using water and the water's too hot, you're going to kill the yeast. And if it's too cold, the yeast aren't gonna, they're just gonna be hanging out in here and like doing nothing. So okay, so I have my whole milk, 1.5 cups of whole milk. It's about 110 degrees. That's where we want it. And we are going to add it to the mixer, along with about 2 tablespoons of white sugar, so that we give the yeast something to eat so it could start letting go of its gases. Just gonna stir that around with my hand. Okay, now we're gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes. See you back then. Okay, we're back. We have a nice yeasty foam at the top. That took about 11 minutes, so we are ready to move on to the next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 lightly beaten egg. In you go. And a 1/2 cup of sugar, white sugar. We are going to add a 1/2 cup of salted butter, and another 1/4 cup. So 3/4 cup of salted butter. I don't like using non-salted butter, but and salt. To me, I like salt. I'd rather have enough salt in my cooking than no salt. If it was something like that really you can't have salt in or whatever, then I wouldn't. But I always use salted butter. That's my point. Okay, so we got all that in. We're going to give that a quick little jet around, and then we're going to add our flour. So we're going to use our KitchenAid attached with a dough hook. Start on low. Never go zip up to real high, because number 1, you're going to mess up your machine, and number 2, you're going to have a nice mess to clean up later. And oh yeah, my thing's not on. Oh, oops. Okay, there we go. So we just want to incorporate everything. We want to really get that yeast not to break down too much right now. We just want to get it swimming around with the rest of our goodness in there. Go up a little bit more. That looks good. Okay, so anytime you stop a machine, you always want to scrape down the edges. Make that a rule of thumb. Unless obviously you're making egg whites or whipped cream and you don't want to constantly doing that. in fear that they will collapse, but okay. I'm going to use bread flour. I always use bread flour when I'm making breads, but you can use AP flour. It's no big difference. So bread flour just has more gluten. So I'm going to do the pour and pass. We're going to do, kidding me? We're going to do the pour and pass, which means you don't want to just go in there and scoop up a bunch of flour, because you're going to get way more flour than you actually need in this cup, and that's not good. You're going to end up with dry crap. So you scoop it up and then you pass it over like that. 4 cups. 1. And I cut. Okay. With bread, you have to be like really precise. 2. You only want to add if it's really dry. It's going to be really hard to subtract the amount of flour you want. That's 3. That's 4. Okay. Back on the mix. Always start low. You don't want to put it on high and you're just going to get like a cloud of poof, like all over the place. It's not a good look. Now some people will add cinnamon right to their dough or vanilla. I tend not to do that. I don't know. I just never did. I mean, you can, but I think the sugar is enough for and the butter and to make this dough sweet. And you're going to be putting like so much butter and sugar in the inside and cinnamon. So to me, I like a blank sweet canvas of bread instead of it just being like sweet, 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 sweet. Raise it up. My whole prep table is shaking. This will come together. You don't want lots of flour or wet dough sticking. You want this to come together, but you don't. This is going to be a very soft dough. It's not going to be like a pizza dough. It's not going to be like a I don't know, like I can't think of any other doughs right now. Brioche is very soft and could be very sticky. All right, so right now I'll show you. It looks like this. See? It's staying together. It's still very sticky. So we're going to add a little bit more flour. Scrape down all the edges and make sure that if there is any flour hanging out down there, that we all make sure they're invited to the party. Okay, so starting off slow. Okay, I'm just going to put like a couple of tablespoons in at a time. All right, there we go. You want it so it just starts to pull away from the side and forms a bowl. You don't want it to be like splat, like stuck all over the place, but you also don't want it like a rock, because I'm telling you, that will taste gross. That looks good. We're going to put more flour once we get it in the bowl. Okay, so thanks for coming. We don't need you anymore. Okay. Okay, so let's clean our dough hook off here. I'm going to put some flour in your hands. Kind of start to pull that dough away from the sides. You're going to be like, what is she talking about? This is sticky. Yeah, I told you, you don't want to put too much flour in. Get some nice floury hands a little at a time and start to bring it together where it's just good enough to work with, where it's not like disgustingly sticky, but it's still going to be tacky, okay? So just keep, it's going to be a very like scrappy dough. It's not going to be like all like silky and soft. That's later. All right, so it's going to look like this. Plop! See? It doesn't stick a lot. Like that, like comes off. Okay? So what we're going to do is clean off your hands. You're going to get a bowl because it's time to make these lovelies rise. And we usually do a double rise with cinnamon rolls. So a rise now, and then we're going to roll them out. We're going to fill them and then cut them. And then we're going to have them rise again before they go in the oven. So you're going to spray with some food lube. You maybe put a little bit of flour there. Oh, I still had water from when I washed the dishes. You know, something's always got to make it difficult. I'm a messy chef, but you know what? Here. All right, so blah 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 blah. There we go. Welcome to the party. Get it all in there. Unless you see like some dough that might be like all crusty and stuff already, like you can't come. All right, so right now, this is good. This is the beginning of your beautiful brioche dough. Okay. So what you're gonna do, put just a little bit of flour on the top. And what you're gonna do is you're going to get a piece of plastic wrap and cover this, seal it with plastic wrap and put it somewhere dark, warm, not in your microwave. I don't know why people say put it in your microwave. Don't put it in your microwave. Put it on your counter. Don't put it in your oven. Don't turn your oven to warm and think that you're gonna proof this faster. Don't do that. Just cover it with some good plastic wrap, make a good seal, put it somewhere warm and dry. Look at it after an hour. If you see that it's doubled in size, then we're ready to go. So I'm gonna go cover this with plastic wrap, go put it inside my house for about an hour, and I'll see you then. All right, sorry everybody, I don't know what happened. I thought I was playing when I was rolling this dough out, but I guess it didn't. But anyways, all I did was, the dough was done rising, doubled in size. I just flipped it over on this, the table, and I put a bunch of flour, bench flour down. And like I was saying, this dough is so soft that you hardly even need to use a rolling pin. You can literally just push it out into the shape that you want. You want to go real gentle with it. This isn't like a pizza dough that you can really like fling it around and you get all crazy with it and throwing it, and it's not like that. This dough is very delicate. You want to treat it very gently. So you want to get it into a rectangle. If you want your cinnamon buns to be like more cinnamon buns and less fat, make your rectangle wider this way. And if you want fatter cinnamon rolls, make it more wide this way. But you still want it to be a rectangle. You don't want to go square. And then you're gonna slather butter. I used about a little over a half a pound of butter. It seems like a lot, but trust me, it's not a lot. Why I use more butter than you really should is because when this butter starts seeping out onto the pan all around those cinnamon rolls and giving it like a bath and mixes with this beautiful brown sugar, it will start to form a caramel, and that caramel will just get in between all of the creases and around each of the rolls. And if I look in there and I'm looking at it and I see there's a lot of juice, then I'll even sometimes take like a turkey baster and suck up that juice and redistribute it on top of all of the rolls. So don't worry about using a lot of butter. And if you don't have a lot of butter, it's okay. You just want to make sure that you get butter on the whole surface. That way all the sugar and stuff will stick to it. Now I used about 3 cups of brown sugar. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, but when you're having such a thick amount of dough, if you don't have a lot of like sugar and cinnamon in there, it's not going to taste like a cinnamon roll. It's going to taste kind of like a dollar store cinnamon roll. It's not going to be like that punch in your face of awesomeness. So this is where we are. I rolled it out, smeared the butter on a nice even layer, and now I'm going to pack down all of that butter, not pushing too hard, and I'm going to pack all of that butter down into, all of that brown sugar down into the butter, so it becomes one. Go right up to the edges, except for right here, you want to leave like at least like 1 inch to 1/2 inch of just plain raw dough, so that it can adhere to itself once we start rolling it up. Okay, you really don't even need to use a rolling pin. If you want to, then go ahead. If you want, you think it'll be more even for you, whatever. Do you. All right, so the next thing, of course, is we need cinnamon for our cinnamon buns. Okay, I use ground cinnamon. Yes, this is a huge amount, but I make a lot of cinnamon rolls. And you know what? You don't like a lot of cinnamon? Don't put too much. I love really beautiful spiced cinnamon rolls. So I cover it all. I don't cover it so like you don't see any of the brown sugar, but I make a really good layer like that, so you can still see. That's good. All right. So I'm going to take my bench scraper real quick. Get this stuff out of here. I don't like working in a really crazy workspace with like clutterness. Okay, so this is a bench scraper. They are awesome. They do so much awesome things. You can use them for so many different culinary recipes, or just, especially when it comes to baking and bread, or just to like clean up your workspace. They're awesome. Okay, so let's start rolling. I'm going to start in the middle, right here, using your thumbs, just about 1 inch. Just going to push that onto, like make a not a roll yet, just like, just tuck it over, okay? And then with your 4 fingers right here, right, make like a claw, like a claw, and press that down in there. Okay, again, now kind of like you're rolling like this. That's how you're gonna roll it up. All right, start kind of one hand over the other. There, or we start in the middle and then go out to the ends. Try to make it as tight as you can. And then once you get like a good roll going, then you can just start wherever you want. So I kind of will like, usually always start in the middle. The point is, you want to get a good tight roll so that it actually looks like a really pretty swirl. One thing that helps me is I kind of pick it up like this and I kind of lift it just a little bit and then tuck it back under. I don't know, it's probably hard to see, but you get like a tighter roll. And see how I don't have it sticking to the board. I don't have a ton of flour under there. And if you do, in one space, you can just kind of brush it off. And then you just keep going. Try to get it rolled up as evenly as you can. Now when you get here, all right, kind of get your log nice and tight. You're gonna go from this way, right? You're gonna bring it up and you're gonna pinch. Bring it up, pinch. Bring it up, pinch. All the way down. Okay, and then you're gonna roll it this way over to you. And then easily kind of give it like a little squeeze down, like that. So you're kind of forming it into a nice even log, okay? Don't want to squeeze too hard. Everything I'm doing very lightly. Kind of go like this. Get it all nice and tucked. Brush off any extra flour that might be. Don't worry, you can't get it off. You're not going to, but. Okay. See how it's really a great tool to. I call it a bench scraper because it scrapage. Ugh, it scrapes off your bench. And a baker's bench is what they used to call the table, which they are preparing on. I use a stainless steel prep table. I mean, that's what most chefs and restaurants use nowadays. It's easy to clean, easy to sanitize. What's next? Let's go. Where's my pan? La la la. All right, now I'm not sure if all these are going to fit in here. I didn't realize this is going to be such a big batch, but we'll make it work. All right, get a pan. Give that lady a nice spray. Okay, set it off to the side for just a second. Get a serrated knife. It has to be a serrated knife. See those little teeth? Can't use a flat knife with this. It has to have serrations like this, or you're not, or you're gonna flatten the in between each of the buns. So as you see, look. So I can generally know how many, but you can make like, depending on how big you can go, like I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm gonna cut off this piece and cut off this piece right here. So they're nice and flat. And that's gonna make like 10 or 11 cinnamon rolls, okay? Don't worry, I'll bake those off and give it to my husband or something. Okay, so sawing action. There's one. Sawing action, nice and easy. Do not push down. Just the saw. Let the knife do all the work for you. Okay? Because if you tear these layers, it's not going to look right. Okay? Try to get them as even as you can. Get your pan. Put them right next to each other. Now, if you get like a little hanger flap right here, it's okay. Just put it, pinch it together, and then put it up against one of the other cinnamon rolls. It happens. All right, get them right next to each other. I think we will be able to put them all in this pan. Well, maybe I gotta give them a little bit more room. I thought I was gonna have to really. Okay. Now remember, we're gonna give these a second rise. Come on. I guess I should have cut them a little bit. You know what, I'm gonna use this one's gonna be the special one right here. Okay, bloop, bloop. Those are the scraps. Okay, so we got them all nice in there. Great, now we have to do them for a second rise. I'm gonna cover these up with some some paper towel. Oh my God, why can't I talk today? With some plastic wrap, and I'm gonna put it right back where it was, and I'm gonna let it rise for like another 45 minutes, and we'll be back after that. Okay, so our cinnamon rolls just doubled in size in their pan, and they are in the oven. They're gonna bake. I start them off about 25 minutes, and I keep checking them every like 5 minutes after that, just to make sure that they are, you know, still cooking. You do not want to overcook these. Plus, like I said, I kind of like to check and kind of like spoon some of that extra caramel that has been like swimming around the cinnamon buns in there, just to really redistribute that goodness all over the tops and sides. So let's make our cream cheese frosting, because what cinnamon sticky bun isn't complete without their cream cheese frosting? So in my bowl right here, I have some very, very soft cream cheese that I've left out. So it's, you know, you ever try to like mash like hard cream cheese? Like you ain't getting nowhere with that. So I have 8 ounces, which is 1 pack of cream cheese. I'm gonna get some powdered sugar, and I'm gonna sift. You don't have to, some people really don't, but I kind of want to make sure that there's no like big chunks in there. So this is about 1/2 cup right here. I'm just gonna do a little at a time, and I'm probably gonna, I really needed to get my bigger sifter, but this is going, once it gets through, it goes pretty quick. All right, so I'm gonna start off just with 1/2 cup to start. I don't like really runny, like a glaze. I don't like glaze cream cheese frosting. I like a thicker, like where I can just take a scoop and go plop and put it on the cinnamon bun. Because here's the thing, most people like, I'm gonna put a splash of vanilla. Most people like warm cinnamon buns, right? And if you already have like a really, really runny frosting, then it's gonna like look like gross. Like it's gonna be, you're gonna have like a pool of glaze like all on the plate, and just like a little veil of frosting on your cinnamon bun. So that's not the way to go. You want to have a nice thick cream cheese frosting, so that when you scoop it and put it on top of your cinnamon roll, it melts, but it melts like beautifully silky over the top. So don't go for a glazed consistency. Go thicker than what you might think. All right, so like right now this is super thick, and I also don't like using a huge amount of powdered sugar, because these cinnamon rolls are so sweet, so caramelized, that you don't want like a crazy sweet frosting on top. All right, so let's keep the creamy taste of the cream cheese more than a buttercream type frosting. Okay, so like here we go. Like, see? Plop. If that was a glaze, it would just be running off. I mean, look at that. That's like a 10-second drop. There you go. That's it. You're done. This is all you gotta do. If you want it sweeter, you can add more confectionery sugar. If you do want like a glaze, just add some more water to this. That's it. You can add more water. You can add a little bit more vanilla, but I wouldn't go over 2 teaspoons of the vanilla, especially if it's artificial vanilla, because that's just, you're not gonna like that. You can even add like cinnamon to this and flavor the cream cheese frosting, but me, I like it just like this. So I'm gonna keep this covered while the cinnamon rolls are baking, and when we come back, they will be done, and I'm gonna be hungry because, well, I already am hungry, so I can't wait. All right, they're done. They're fresh out of the oven. They smell delicious. It is time to plate one up. Let's go for this one right here. Ooh, they are hot, hot. Ooh. I probably should let them cool a little bit, but I just can't wait anymore. There we go. Move these over here. Look at that. So, we're gonna take a nice ice cream scoop of our frosting. Watch that magic happen. Oh, so delicious. I mean, waking up to some steaming, beautiful cinnamon buns in the morning. I can't think of a more delicious thing, except bacon. Bacon on top of these cinnamon buns, on top of these cinnamon. Oh my God, I can't talk. Bacon, the crumbled up bacon on top of this cinnamon. Oh my God, I think I need to go make some bacon. But as you can see, it's starting to melt, and it is just gonna ooey gooey all down there. I can't wait to try it. Let me try it right now. Whoa, look at that. Look at that deliciousness. Mmm. The brioche dough is just so tender. So sweet, but it's just so good. When you make brioche cinnamon buns, you won't want to go back to, like, I know some people use like pizza dough or anything, but that's the way to go right there. There you have it. Look at my face. Beautiful, beautiful brioche cinnamon buns. They are just so soft and delicious. Once you make cinnamon buns with this brioche bread, dough, it is just, you can't go back to like using pizza dough or whatever, you know, you make or whatever recipes you've seen. This is definitely, look at how it's just melting down now. It's delicious. Well, I hope you enjoyed helping me make cinnamon rolls today. It was great to have you. Hope to see you again soon. I'll put the recipe below in the description. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye.